It seems like every parent hopes that their child will become a prodigy, believing that it will set them up for a great life. Child prodigies are celebrated by society for achieving so much in their short lives. But sometimes, when a prodigy grows up, they no longer meet society's expectations for them. Not only that, but sometimes child prodigies grow into adults that embody the worst kinds of people within our society, a shadow of their former selves. Here are 5 child prodigies who grew into evil adults. Number 5. Julian Edgren. In his childhood, Edgren was an accomplished piano player, playing in the Westminster Conservatory in high school. His piano playing was in addition to his impressive grades. Excellence was simply part of his life. This led to Edgren being accepted to the prestigious Princeton University, playing with Princeton's pianist ensemble. Therefore, his fall from grace is all the more shocking. Drug addiction and drug overdose are becoming more and more common in the United States and the world at large. Those suffering from addiction are enabled by drug dealers who callously prey on those with addictive personality traits. Julian Edgren was one of those dealers, supplying students at the prestigious Princeton University where he was also enrolled. He was initially arrested after a package addressed to him contained several controlled substances, and the search of his apartment revealed many more. Edgren was eventually convicted on 1 count of distribution, possession of 599 units of prescription drugs, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He only served a year in prison before being released. However, he never re-enrolled in Princeton. Number 4. Brock Turner. Brock Turner was once a very promising young athlete, becoming a 2-time state swimming champion and Olympic contender. His skills as a swimmer earned him a scholarship to the prestigious Stanford University, where he competed on the swim team. His status as a university athlete gave Turner a certain sense of entitlement and the feeling that he was above the law, and he was known to have engaged in several low-level crimes, always getting away with little to no consequences. This feeling that he was above the law came to a head on January 18, 2015, when Turner was caught sexually assaulting a woman behind a dumpster on Stanford's campus. Both Turner and his victims were extremely intoxicated at the time of the incident. Neither reported having much memory in regards to what happened. Based on witness statements, it was clear to authorities that Turner had penetrated the woman while she was unconscious, resulting in the charges of sexual assault and attempted rape. Turner pled not guilty but was convicted nonetheless. In a controversial legal decision, one which only amplifies Turner's feelings of immunity, Turner was only sentenced to 6 months in prison, of which he served 3 due to good behavior. Number 3. Jennifer Pan. Jennifer Pan is the daughter of Vietnamese refugees to Canada who fled political persecution in their home country and were determined to make it in their new one. As a result, Pan's parents placed high expectations on their daughter, and in her early life she often met those expectations. In addition to the perfect grades, Jennifer was enrolled in piano, dance, and figure skating, all of which she excelled at. She was even considered a competitor for 2010 Vancouver Olympic Games. However, a torn ligament dashed any hope of Pan competing. As she got older, however, she could no longer meet her parents' expectations and resorted to forging report cards in high school to keep them happy. She also met drug dealer Daniel Wong, with whom she began an on-again, off-again relationship, one which her parents strongly disapproved of, to the point where they told her she had to choose between them or Wong. She chose her parents and family, a decision she would come to regret. In light of her not being able to openly see Wong anymore, as well as new restrictions on her life to the point she could not leave her parents' house, Pan decided, along with Wong's input, to have her parents killed, both for her freedom and her share of their estate. Daniel connected Jennifer with a friend of his named Lenford Crawford, who said he could perform a hit on Pan's parent of $10,000. Over the next few weeks, plan was put into motion, and on November 8, 2010, they acted. Pan left the door unlocked for 3 assailants to enter the house, all armed. Pan's parents were brought to the basement of the house and both shot in the head. Pan's mother was killed. However, her father survived but suffered critical injuries. Pan mentioned she was tied up by the attackers and left in her upstairs room. After several questionable statements to the police, Pan became a suspect in the attack on her parents and eventually was investigated by police. Eventually, the murder plot was brought to light. Jennifer Pan, Daniel Wong, Lanford Crawford, David Melvagnum, and Eric Carty were charged with first-degree murder in the attack. All of the accused were eventually convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. Number 2. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez was his town's golden boy. Excelling at football throughout his middle and high school years, Hernandez was loved by everyone. His skills made him a desired player for universities and he received numerous scholarship offers. It seemed like the NFL was a certainty. After playing at the University of Florida, Hernandez was drafted into the NFL playing for the New England Patriots. Playing as a tight end, he helped bring his team to Super Bowl, but the Patriots lost to the New York Giants. Hernandez's glory ended on June 26, 2013 when he was arrested for the murder of Odin Lloyd, an acquaintance of his and the boyfriend of his fiance's sister. Further investigation into Hernandez and his acquaintances revealed evidence that Hernandez was the perpetrator of a previously unsolved drive-by shooting which resulted in the deaths of 2 men. Hernandez was later charged with these murders as well as Lloyd's. The Patriots were quick to distance themselves from Hernandez as well as all of his corporate sponsors. On April 15, 2015, Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder in the death of Odin Lloyd, being automatically sentenced to life with no possibility of parole. He was, however, acquitted of the murders of Daniel Abreu and Safiro Furtado on April 14, 2017. On April 19, 2017, 5 days after his acquittal, Hernandez committed suicide by hanging in prison. Number 1. Russell Williams. Russell Williams began life as a fairly normal child, not displaying any signs of being gifted or deranged until his teenage years. When he was in his junior year of high school, he was accepted as a boarding student to the prestigious Upper Canada College, an all-boys private school in Toronto, Ontario. Not only that, but Williams was a prefect in his senior year, which was one of the most senior positions that a student would hold, only being attainable after being elected by fellow students. As an adult, Williams joined the Canadian Forces in 1987 and rose through the ranks, attaining the rank of Colonel and Commander of Canadian Forces Base Trenton. Through his service, Williams was a pilot for the Prime Minister and Governor-General of Canada, as well as the Queen of England. In addition to his military service, Williams was moonlighting as a killer who terrorized his small Ontario community, killing 2 young women in their homes. In addition to the murders, Williams was a serial burglar who stole women's and girls' underwear to add to a massive collection. Williams was first suspected by police after his car was seen at one of the crime scenes, and tire treads collected at a drunk driving stop matched those found at the scene. He was brought in for questioning soon after, making the mistake of wearing the same shoes to the police station that he had worn to commit the crime. In light of the overwhelming evidence, Williams was arrested. October 18, 2010, Williams was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years after pleading guilty to 88 charges of including first-degree murder, sexual assault, and breaking and entering. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe and comment.